Hey, what's going on, Longhorn Nation? I'm BJ with Bad Talks. Hey, I'm back at you. Like I promised the Kansas preview before we head into the Thanksgiving holiday, the Thanksgiving weekend, and it's a little different week. I mean, we're used to for so many years we played Texas A&M on Thanksgiving. Now that they're over in the SEC, bottom feeders of the SEC, we've been getting Tech, and then now we get Kansas. I did see a tweet earlier that said, "Yeah, we're not playing A&M, but at least we're playing a team that has been to a BCS bowl before." I thought that was kind of funny because that was a jab at the Aggies. Anytime we can take a jab at those clowns, we do it. But yeah, 11 o'clock on Saturday in Lawrence, Kansas, number 14 Texas, looking for their ninth win of the year versus Kansas. They're 3-8. They're not going to make a bowl game this year, but it it's Kansas. I know we think back, and Texas fans and Texas players have been catching a lot of heck about the Texas loss a couple years ago that sealed the deal and the nail in the coffin, if you will, for Charlie Strong when he was the Texas Longhorns head football coach. And when he took that team up to Kansas and he lost, we all knew at that point that he was done, and rightly so. You don't go to Kansas, and after the year you've had, and lose the way they did. But the seniors that are here this year were sophomores that year. They were young, and they still remember exactly what happened in Lawrence, Kansas that day. So I'm expecting, hopefully, if this doesn't get them pumped up, nothing will. I'm expecting the seniors to come out and play well and dominate this football game. There's absolutely no reason why Texas shouldn't win this football game. At the end of the day, it's Kansas, not a very good football team. Their defense is ranked above Oklahoma, but by like 2 places, I think they're ranked 94th or something like that in the country. So they don't got a very good defense. Texas needs to establish the run early. Keep feeding Trey Watson. Keep feeding Keontae Ingram. Let's not run Sam Ehlinger as much. He is dinged up from last week, but I heard today or I read actually about 10 minutes ago, he is going to play. So, which I think is good. We don't want to break that rhythm up. I know a lot of people would like to see maybe him sit and get ready for the Big 12 championship game if we win in Lawrence. But I like it. I think if you set a guy for 2 full games and then we get to the Big 12 championship against either West Virginia or Oklahoma, he may be rusty. Let's not do that. Let's get this kid in there. If we get a good lead and we're up 28-0.5 or whatever it may be, 28 even 7.5, then we can maybe let Shane play the second half or something. I don't know. But I think it's good that they're going to let Sam play this game. And let's talk about Kansas a little bit. Man, I didn't do a whole lot of research on them. I mean, again, it's Kansas, and not to sound like you're taking them lightly, but at the end of the day, it's Kansas. And you'd like to say, and people have said, man, they hung 40 on Oklahoma. Well, Allen High School could probably hang 40 on Oklahoma. That defense is just not any good for the Sooners. And they're the first. I'm not talking trash about them. They're the first ones to tell you that their defense isn't very good. But that offense can hang points on anybody. And they did. They ran up and down the field on Kansas' defense. Kansas put up 40. Kansas likes to run the football. I can't remember the guy's Scooby or Scooter or something like that, little running back. They like a little fast kid. He may scare Texas a little because Texas just hadn't been very good against the run, which they were against Iowa State. So hopefully we can bring that in this week and play better and like we did against Iowa State against Kansas. Now, hold on, I talk about this game. I'd like to see the defense dominate again. Like I made the title of my last video, Texas put the D back in dominant. And that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see them do that again. I think this game relies on the defense. Let's hold Kansas let's don't let them score 40 because we can score 50 on them. So I'm not afraid of losing. But if they score any and they get 17, okay. But any more than that, let's not let that happen. Let's finally put together a game to where I can relax at half, please. I'd like to eat my turkey, be full, have a couple drinks in me, some leftover turkey, if you will, because it's on Friday. Maybe get a beer in me at noon or something like that and watch the game and be at halftime like, man, you know what? I can flip through other games because this one's already over. I'd like to do that. But who knows? Texas isn't very good at putting people away. Let me turn this volume off a little bit because people are starting to text and I don't want stuff to pop up on there. dinging on you guys. But like I said, these guys gotta avenge that loss that they had at Kansas. But the good note is all of our players I think are going to play. I'm not sure about Brandon Jones. I think he's day to day still with that ankle. Um, but it is what it is. So again, not a whole lot of preview about this game. I will talk about a big defensive lineman today, the number one defensive end in the country. JUCO defensive end in the country committed to Texas today. He was committed to Oklahoma and decommitted about a month ago when he visited Texas. And he committed to Texas today, and I hope he signs early in December. Now, I'm not sure if most of you know, most of you probably know, but some of you may not, that now they can sign early in December, sign a letter of intent in December, and lock them in. They can't go anywhere after that. And then the second signing day is in February as normal. I think Tom Herman did a very good job last year of getting a lot of kids to sign early, and Texas is shooting up. We'll be definitely another top 5 class again. So back-to-back top 5 classes, man, for this coach and this staff is good. This is exactly what we need. It's exactly what we expect. So I don't want to say it's incredible because this is what we expect every year. But other teams are out there recruiting well. Oklahoma's recruiting well. Alabama's recruiting well. Georgia, Ohio State. Arkansas actually recruits well. Texas A&M is doing. Jimbo's doing a pretty good job down there recruiting. But for some reason it is November, December, and a lot of people like to decommit to A&M in this time of year. So we'll see. It doesn't affect us any. They won't play us. We've asked them to play. They wouldn't play us, so we scheduled a powerhouse in Alabama over the next few years. So yeah, I'll make my pick. I'm only at 6-7 minutes, but I'll go ahead and make my pick. As you know, I'm picking Texas to get their 9th win of the year. At the start of the year, if you said, we finished regular season at 9-3, going into the Big 12 Championship, I'd have probably picked one of the losses being Oklahoma, TCU, and USC. But as we kind of find out, USC, TCU's not very good football teams this year. We're not going to brag about that. But beating Oklahoma in Dallas was a big win for Texas. I don't care what anybody says. But I was looking at some stuff today, and Texas is actually 3 plays away from being 11-0. And maybe not a whole lot of teams can say that. Some teams can say, well, what if? But that's facts. Texas is 3 plays away and 9 points away from being 11-0. Hey, I'll take it. 9-3 if we win this football game. 9-3 moving to the Big 12 Championship. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Texas to win. I'm gonna actually pick Texas to win big. I say 42-20, and mosey on into the Big 12 Championship December 1st at 11 o'clock, and get that one on out of the way. Talk about some other Big 12 games. Got Texas Tech at Baylor. Both of them only got 5 wins, so the winner of that will be bowl eligible. The loser of that won't be getting a bowl game this year. So I'm looking to see Texas Tech roll in there, but I think Baylor's going to win that football game, and Tech's going to get left out, and their coach is probably going to be looking for a new job after this year. Kansas State rolls into Iowa State. I think Iowa State gets its 7th win of the year and then move on to the bowl and hopefully get a good bowl and get their 8th win. I like to see Iowa State doing well. I like their football coach out there. I like their quarterback. So they're a team to keep an eye on, and I like that Iowa State's doing a good job. So I think Iowa State will win that. Oklahoma State travels to TCU, and I look for the Cowboys to go ahead and win that football game against TCU. Like I said, TCU is not a very good team. I'm not sure why. They got a lot of stuff going on internally, but they're just not a very good football team. So I look for Iowa State or Oklahoma State to win that football game. And before I go into this next one, it is rivalry weekend. We got Alabama and Auburn, which I think Alabama blitzes Auburn. But it is a rivalry game, so who knows? I expected Oklahoma to blitz Oklahoma State, and they didn't. Oklahoma State should have won that football game. And then Michigan, I think the big game of the weekend everybody wants to see is Michigan-Ohio State to see is Michigan really for real. And I really think they are. I mean, I watched them play live the first week 1 at Notre Dame. They lost to Notre Dame, which I think Notre Dame's for real too. I don't think any of them can hang with Bama, but I think Michigan. I'd like to see a Michigan-Alabama in the national championship, but I think Michigan beats Ohio State finally. It's been one-sided. Then moving on to the last Big 12 game, number 6 Oklahoma at number 13 West Virginia on ESPN at 7 o'clock on Friday night. Man, I do a pick 'em with some buddies of mine, and I first picked West Virginia. And I'll tell you why. I think West Virginia has an overall better football team. The offense is a little less than Oklahoma, but their defense is better than Oklahoma. I think West Virginia is going to score at will on Oklahoma, and I think Oklahoma may have a little trouble scoring on. It won't be as easy to score on West Virginia for Oklahoma as it will be for West Virginia to score on Oklahoma, if that makes any sense. But Lincoln Riley is yet to lose a true road game in the Big 12. And like I said, I first picked West Virginia, and then probably an hour or two later, I sent a text saying, you know what, I just can't see Oklahoma not being in the Big 12 championship. Because as much as I hate to say it, because I'm a Texas fan, Oklahoma's dominated the Big 12 and the Big 12 championship. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Oklahoma rolls into West Virginia and win that game. But man, I don't know. Like I said, I was going to pick Oklahoma just now, but I'm going back and forth because West Virginia is a tough place to play. They're going to be fired up. They just lost to Oklahoma State. They know they got Texas again. They think they can. I've seen so many fans say if they play Texas, they'll beat them by 14 or 21 points the second time they play them. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and stick with it. I'm going to stick with Oklahoma, and I think they win the game in a shootout, 51-50, 55-50, something like that. Maybe 60-55. I mean, it's going to be, that sounds ridiculous, but I think that's what's going to be. So, yeah, that's the Big 12 wrap this week. Again, Texas, this is it. Let's get our 9th win of the year. Go 9-3. Move on into the Big 12 championship. We're obviously making steps forward. Something we thought we should do this year. Coach Herman did say in his press conference this week that, I know it was on Longhorn Weekly, that we're ahead of schedule. That he was hired by the president, Greg Fenves, not to build a football team, not to build a season, but to build a program. And he's building a program, and it's going to take a colossal amount of time and effort and work as a group, as a whole, to build this program. And I think that's what Coach Herman's doing. He's building a program. He's building, the culture has changed. And those plays where Jordan Humphrey catches the ball in the middle of the field and then the offensive lineman come and push him for 10 more yards, that's a culture change. Texas didn't used to do stuff like that. We're breaking tackles. We're getting open. We're making tackles. We're scoring touchdowns. We're going into football games as Texas fans and expecting to win the game. We haven't been able to say that very often. But we get to do that this year. We get to say we're going to go against Ohio State's coming into town and we're going to beat Ohio State. We're going into Lawrence, Kansas, and we're going to take care of business and handle Kansas. We've been, who knows what team we're going to see over the last few years. But I think we're finally into that point to where we're expected to win. And I've heard some players in their comments say that they're expected to win. It's good to hear that. You know, it's really good to hear that. So Texas, let's go to Kansas. Like Coach Herman said, they're tired, they're banged up. It's been a long season. But if you want to be a Big 12 champ, you got to suck it up and go win the football game and win it convincingly. The college football playoffs got you number 14. So you could win, a couple others lose, maybe move up to 13, 12, get a hold of West Virginia or another top 10 team next year in Oklahoma or next week in Oklahoma and finish this Big 12 off right. All right, guys, I'm headed to bed. I've been cooking all day for Thanksgiving, and have a great day tomorrow, you guys. Fans, Texas fans, non-Texas fans, you all have a happy Thanksgiving, and God bless you guys. And if you like the video, man, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down and tell me why. You want to talk a little football? Let's talk a little Texas football. Want to talk any kind of college football? Let's do it. Hit the subscribe button. Share Bad Talks. Let's get this thing going. All right, guys, I really appreciate everything. I love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving, and God bless. Hook 'em.